Hi, I'm Tony Nichols, and welcome to Chamber Chat. Hi, welcome to Chamber Chat, a program put together by the Salisbury Area Chamber of Commerce to keep you informed on what's going on in your community and in your chamber. Joining us as our first guest for this edition of Chamber Chat is Mike Dunn, President and CEO of Greater Salisbury Committee.
Good morning, Tony.
Congratulations on that new appointment.
Thank you very much.
Listen, before we go down the Greater Salisbury Road, I want to hijack this conversation for just a moment. I want to read something to you. I'm going to talk about an award. This award recognizes an individual or an organization who has contributed to fostering arts, culture, and entertainment in our community. That particular award is the Community Arts and Culture Award presented by the Salisbury Area Chamber of Commerce at their annual awards banquet. And Red, White, and Boom won that award.
Yes, we did.
You know a little something about Red, White, and Boom.
I do know a little something about it.
Speak to us, man, about what that meant leading up, you know, the time, effort, and energy that the community put in, certainly you put in, and ultimately being recognized in this way.
Well, first and foremost, ultimately being recognized, it was very humbling. I remember when Shannon called me the morning and said, Red, White, and Boom has won the Arts and Culture Award. I truly took a breath, because I don't do this, the things that you do, the things that we do, you don't do it thinking you're going to get some sort of award for it. But I was very honored, and that it came from the Chamber kind of made it even better so. The Chamber has been one of our partners in Red, White, and Boom since the second year, and we're in year 5 now. So it was wonderful. Red, White, and Boom, as you know, is the community's free 4th of July fireworks celebration. We'll be having them again this year. Same location over at County Stadium. There were probably 6,000 or 7,000 people over there last year. We put on a spectacular show. It's a $20,000 show, and it's only happens because this community has embraced it, has allowed me the opportunity to knock on their door and ring their phones and make contributions. And so it's a wonderful endeavor, and I'm thrilled to have any part in it.
Well, I think it instantly became part of the fabric of Salisbury, because I've had tons of people to email me or call me, where is it happening? Where are the fireworks this year?
Yeah.
Luckily, I knew.
Yeah.
But so it's people have come to look forward to it, as they well should. So congratulations on that.
Thank you, Tony, very much.
All right, let's dig into Greater Salisbury.
Sure.
Back in January, man, you accepted the post as President and CEO of Greater Salisbury, an organization that's only 2 years older than me.
Yeah, and a few younger than me.
Right. So tell us how those first few months have been.
It's been really wonderful. I'm 4 months into the job as the president and CEO of this organization that is, it'll be 50 next year, so Tony's just giving away how old he's coming.
That's what you can tell by the wisdom.
You know, Greater Salisbury Committee, it's an organization. We've got about 100 members, and our mission is to identify the community's problems and to try to seek broad solutions to them. And we try to serve as a catalyst to good things that are happening in the community. And historically, the Greater Salisbury Committee has been responsible for the establishment of Warwick Community College and the Community Foundation of the Eastern Shore and Salisbury-Wicomico Economic Development. And the list it's impressive, and it goes on. It is, and it's a daunting job, but I'll tell you, Tony, it's one of those jobs, and I think you're in one of them now, where going to work, it really is exciting because something new is happening every day. And the phrase that I'm starting to use out there is that the Greater Salisbury Committee kind of sits at a neat intersection. And that intersection is problems and challenges, but it's also people, and it's resources, and it's community. And so it's a fun place to go to work every day, and I'm honored to have the job.
So if, just to play devil's advocate, there are no secret handshakes?
No, there are
no secret boardroom meetings?
There are not, as you know. One of the myths of the Greater Salisbury Committee is, what does it do, and does it operate in secret? And, you know, for a while there, the way that they did operate, it really was, and you're going back to 30 and 40 years or so ago, it was a gentleman's agreement. We've got a problem, let's get behind this door, and let's kind of come up with a solution. But we're not doing that anymore. We're creating partnerships and coalitions. We have to, and that's the only way to proceed.
Well, the direction or the format in which the organization is now run has changed, which allows you to come out here and be the face and speak on behalf of the organization, I think, which has already begun to help change the, or give people a new look at what the Greater Salisbury Committee is and what it has been all along.
That's right, and it was necessary. I am literally the first president and CEO. Everybody who came before me, I'm only the fourth, they were the executive director.
Right.
And that move was made on purpose because the Greater Salisbury Committee membership finally realized that it's 2015, it's 2016, and they want me to be out there kind of pushing the agenda as opposed to sitting back and waiting to see where the agenda comes to me.
Right.
So we have a Facebook page, we're revamping our website, we're doing all the things, we're partnering with the Salisbury Area Chamber and the United Way and the Community Foundation, the Wicomico Board of Education. We know that in order for the Greater Salisbury Committee to succeed and to be what it has historically been, we can't just sit in our Greater Salisbury building and dictate or sit on high. We have to get involved.
Well,
that's where we're
you
going.
stole a little bit of my thunder there, because I was going to bring up, the noticeable efforts to reach out to other successful organizations, to partner with them and collaborate with them. And the question was going to be, why do you feel that that's important? Not that we haven't always wanted to, and I say we, full disclosure, I'm on the Greater Salisbury Committee. Not that we haven't always wanted to, but the charter, if you will, wouldn't allow it.
Yeah.
But why is that important, if you could rehash that answer?
If you look at every successful organization, from the Chamber to the United Way to the Community Foundation to the Greater Salisbury Committee as we now exist, to Red, White, and Boom, to Ben's Red Swings, to Third Friday, none of them operate all by themselves.
Right.
The Chamber has 850 members. We've got 100 members. We must cooperate and coordinate together. The third day on the job, I was at the desk of Ernie Colburn, the president of the Chamber, and that was by design, and Ernie was kind enough to have me down there. The first day on the job, 15 minutes into my job, in walks Dave Ryan from Salisbury Wicomico Economic Development. The way things happen, you know this, Tony, the way things happen in this community is when we all work together to kind of move it forward. So that's the approach that the Greater Salisbury Committee is now taking.
I'm going to say two words that not too long ago would not have been synonyms: social media and the Greater Salisbury Committee. What's that all about?
It's all about what we're talking about. We, the Greater Salisbury Committee, part of its problem, if you want to say that, is that people weren't sure what the organization did. And unless you're the CIA or the NSA, that's probably not a good idea. So we're trying to just, by putting a Facebook page out there, it's not just a Facebook page dedicated to the Greater Salisbury Committee and what we're doing. It's a Facebook page dedicated to the community and making sure that the community is aware of the role that we're playing and that other organizations in town are playing.
We're winding down in time, but I do want to make sure we get in there that for the first time in a long time, the Greater Salisbury is helping to start a new foundation.
Yeah, as with the Salisbury Chamber as our partner.
Can you tell us about that?
Yeah, sure can. We're going to be starting the Wicomico County Education Foundation, a new 501c3. It's a great idea that we're stealing, we're hijacking, to use your word, from the Worcester County Board of Education. At this time, as you know, as all of the viewers right now know, there's some challenges facing our public schools. And so the Greater Salisbury Committee and the Salisbury Area Chamber of Commerce, we're going to form this Wicomico County Education Foundation. We have as our sounding board Erica Joseph and the Community Foundation, and we're putting the steering committee together right now, and we're very much looking forward to that partnership and bringing something forward that the community can embrace and it can make a difference in the community.
Very good. Mike, we're going to have you back, as I know we could take up the entire show just talking about the things that's going on in the Greater Salisbury Committee, but thank you for joining us here on Chamber Chat.
My pleasure. Thank you.
Mike Dunn with the Greater Salisbury Committee and founder of Red, White, and Boom. We'd like to give you this opportunity now to take a look at the upcoming events with the Salisbury Area Chamber of Commerce. Welcome back to Chamber Chat right here on PAC 14. Joining us now is Pastor Mark Thompson. Welcome to the program,
Good
Pastor.
morning, Tony. Thanks for having me.
Well, as we did with Mike, I want to start by reading something.
Okay.
The Humanitarian Award for the Salisbury Area Chamber of Commerce has previously only been awarded 10 times in the 96-year history of the Chamber to truly superb members of our community who have dedicated themselves to the greater good for all. You, my friend, were the 2016 Humanitarian Award recipient.
Yeah, and even listening to you read that now, I'm still humbled, honored, and blessed, extremely blessed to be recognized by the Chamber for this award.
Well, so tell me, give me the Cliff Notes version. For those of you that use Wikipedia, that's what I had to use, is Cliff Notes. A guy that's from here comes in and digs in and gets this kind of award. How does that happen?
Well, someone asked me about that. Where have you been since I've been here almost 20-some years, but something, Tony, it starts back from my early years when I was in Erie, Pennsylvania as a little child. I felt that I was insignificant, didn't really offer much. I have my 6th grade class picture. When I was in 6th grade, I had a 4th grade reading ability. But what happened, I realized that as I grew older and people helped me that, you need to dig in and work so hard to be the best you can because others are looking at you. Right. And what I found through this Humanitarian Award, what I've been trying to do is show young people that it's not where you start, but it's where you're going. And so I've worked very hard just to be the best I can for that one child who's struggling, because I struggled a lot when I was young.
All right, that's awesome. So you're minding your own business, and you get a telephone call. My assumption is from Shannon at the Chamber, and she tells you you've won this award.
I thought it was a joke. Okay. First I thought it was a joke. I said, "Oh, okay, thanks," and then I said, "Well, send me an email so I could try to wrap my head around this thing." And then I realized, what I do is not for awards. Right. Again, when I say I'm extremely honored and blessed, God's given me a special gift. And my gift is to be as passionate as I can for people. I really say that from a movie quote, The Freedom Writers, I've been blessed with a burden for people. There you go. Meaning that when I see hurt, when I see needs, I just have to dig in and do something about it.
Well, to that point, I'm going to read a little something about in your bio, not a lot, because it's too long.
Ooh.
Volunteers as a chaplain at Coastal Hospice, serves on numerous boards in Salisbury, including Big Brothers, Big Sisters in Wicomico County Housing, Village of Hope, Salisbury Urban Ministries, Horizons, Lower Eastern Shore Children's Center, and the United Way of the Lower Eastern Shore, just to name a few. That's walking the walk when you say getting involved in the community. So why do you feel it's so important to be active in the communities to the degree that you are?
Well, I always tell people, you just can't be a spectator. You need to be involved. A lot of people sit back and complain about what's not being done. I always say you need to just jump in and do it. Lead by example. And that's what I always try to do, lead by example. I can't sit back and complain about things or tell other people how to do things. I'll do it, and then I look for people to follow. And if they don't follow, I'm still going to get it done. I just love people. I love working. And as long as I have breath in my body, I'm going to keep working until that last time when I can.
Awesome. I tell many people, to your point, when they join the Chamber of Commerce, the Chamber is one of those things where you can get a lot out of it, or it can be one of those bad experiences. And it's 100% what you put into it. So the way you get involved in a network or a division is you just show up. So it's that very much what you're talking about. You just show up, get involved.
You just show up. I always say, in our church, when people come to church, they sit there and wait for something. I say, you have that spark inside you. You bring the spark to the fire, and it's going to blow up. Right. And what I try to bring is that enthusiasm and passion, and that it can get done. Right. I'm a person that says can't get done, but it can. We all work together. I have what Apollo 13 mission that nothing's impossible, and that failure is not an option in my book.
Well, you have this little ministry you got going on. You're a pastor at Emmanuel Western Church, but Adopt a Block ministry.
Ooh, that is such a blessing right there. We go out every other Saturday into the neighborhood. It was a vision from our senior pastor, Pastor Thompson. And what we do for the last 3.5 years, we go out every other Saturday into the neighborhood, the Church Street neighborhood. We're up to 180 homes that we knock on every door. We serve over 300 people. We deliver over 3,000 pounds of food. But it's not just about trying to bring members into the church. It's about showing the love of Jesus Christ in the neighborhood. It doesn't matter who you are, but we love you. And that's what we try to do through Adopt a Block.
Well, it sounds like you're not trying. It's more about bringing the church to them rather than getting them in the church.
Oh yeah, you know, sometimes churches stay within their four walls, but we go out into the community. And again, when you show people love, it's not what you do, it's how you show them. And we show them through our generosity. We don't ask for anything. We just want to show love and give love. And it's just been a blessing at the church.
There's another program you're part of, the Wicomico County Mentoring Project. How's that been going?
It's been going really good this year. We got a lot of partners. The county executives signed an order saying that county employees can come in and work into or mentor into our school system. My goal is to have 1,000 mentors this year. We're up to about almost close to 600. But it's so important to engage our community with our students inside the school. Again, here we go again. Don't sit out and complain about what's happening in the school. Come into the school and work with our children that need you so much.
Is there a number now? I know there was a pretty large number here earlier in the year. It might even have been the latter part of last year. There was the number 800?
Yeah, 800 students on the waiting list. But you know, I've changed that because I don't want people just to think that mentoring are just for certain type of children. But we need mentors for every child in the school system.
That's true.
There are 14,500 students. Everyone has a mentor. You probably have a mentor. So my philosophy this year is every child needs a mentor. So everyone step up. Let's come into our school system and work with our students.
All right, it's time to, you're certainly putting feet in the street, so to speak, in terms of your philosophy and then following that up with action. What would you tell the people in the community, in the neighboring communities? How would you speak to the importance of just showing up?
Well, one thing about people just showing up, don't sit back and watch. Be a participant. A spectator, you sit back on the couch and you watch and you criticize. Don't criticize. Step out, and once you go out and help, you'll find out there's no greater gift than sharing your talents, your time with others. And then you'll find out how God's going to bless you. So if you're sitting back watching, just step out. If you think you have nothing to offer, you do. You just don't realize it. You have a special gift inside of you that needs to be shared with our community. So step on out, ask me, and come with me, and I'll show you how to do it.
That's a great place to end. Pastor Mark Thompson, thank you so much. Congratulations on your award.
Thank you so much.
Well deserved.
Thank you.
We'd like to give you another opportunity now to take a look at the upcoming events with the Salisbury Area Chamber of Commerce. Welcome back to Chamber Chat right here on PAC 14. And joining us now is Kevin Justice, CEO of Matisse. But you're not here to talk about Matisse.
No. Today we're here to talk about the M4 reactor.
Yeah, the name sounds really cool.
Thank
so
you.
tell us what the M4 reactor is all about.
So the M4 reactor, we're trying to build a community space where we'll help people engage in experiential learning in science, technology, engineering, arts, and math, with the intent of making things and either turning that into a business or using those skills to get a better job.
You know, I think it's a very relevant approach, because when we just create the space to allow things to happen, we get things like Third Friday and First Saturday. And the New Year's Eve ball drop, just by creating a space. So I think in a very similar vein, it sounds like you're doing this as a teaching and learning tool.
Yes, definitely, and having a lot of programming to kind of guide people through it. When we talk about experiential learning, it's very different than classroom learning, where someone's at front,
Right.
talking to you and you're taking notes. Experiential learning is much more about hands-on, getting to figure out something on your own and how it would work. Really, how we learn as adults in many ways, because if you're given a problem at work or something, you typically don't go to a classroom to figure out how it's done. You have to figure it out on your own.
Yeah, one of the many self-analysis or tests that I took, and it determined if you were a feeler, a watcher, a thinker, or a doer. And everybody's always seen me as this big doer. But I was a thinker-doer. I was a little higher on the thinking aspect than doing, because I put so much thought into what we were going to do before we did it. So it made it appear that way. So I'm one of those hands-on kind of people as well. So you talked a little bit about the programming, having the right kind of programming. What kind of programming do you guys, or will you have?
So we're starting with our summer youth camp, which is 5 weeks of, we're calling it Summer of STEAM. We've got programs including robotics, model rocketry, 3D printing and 3D CAD. We've even got some circuitry and programming in there as well. And these are for youth from going into the 7th to 12th grades. And that'll start in July. And that's just the beginning of what we're planning.
Oh, that's the tip of the iceberg. So you said STEAM, and I did a little bit of research and went to the website. I know what it means, but you took STEM and it's STEM plus.
It's STEM plus an A for arts, and that is now the new trend, is to say STEAM. Some people around here might say the A is ag, but no, ag is a
right.
totally different category.
It could be A squared.
There you go.
Okay, so you're just starting out. Do you need organizational support in terms of space to put these programs? To have people support from the community, to tie into, volunteer work, all of that has to come into play.
Yes, definitely. Being a startup nonprofit, we're starting with zero, and we've really focused on 3 things to start with. The first is the people, trying to get grassroots involvement. We've been having all sorts of interest meetings to see if people are interested, and those have been a great turnout. I've got 10 people already that are volunteering with the organization on a regular basis to help us do things like creating our educational plan, doing our membership documents, all sorts of different things, our marketing. We'll have a booth up this coming 3rd Friday even, and continue to do that on 3rd Fridays. So yeah, there's definitely opportunities for people to get involved from the volunteer standpoint. But when we think about the other keys, especially partners in the community, we've had a great response so far to the people and companies we've reached out to, but we're still looking for more from that perspective. Organizations like the library and the Maryland Extension Office and AING have been great in terms of helping us out and identify space that we can use short term, but we do need to find space long term. And we've got some feelers out, but still haven't found the exact right space for us. We'd like to be downtown, be central to the city and that sort of thing. So we'll see what's available, and maybe someone seeing this can help us out.
Okay, so I'm sitting here. There are certain things that I'm okay at, and then there are certain things where I need to let someone else step forward and help. So I'm thinking all these technological terms and the robotics and the shooting the rockets off, and I can't do any of that. So but I'm sure there's a place for people like me, not just the very technical side of things.
Well, and I would argue that you can do all of that.
Okay.
Because even our summer program that we're doing with the youth this summer, there is no experience required, and yet they're going to walk out, the students that do robotics are going to walk out with a robotic arm that they built and programmed. And we could even teach you to do that, Tony. Model rocketry, same thing. A lot of these things boil down to very core skills that most people have and can easily be taught. It may sound lofty that we use all these technological words and so forth, but it really is simple, and it's about putting a lot of small skills together to be able to accomplish something. So, when you think about CAD, well, okay, maybe you've never used a CAD program before, but it's not hard to show you how to do that and how to draw boxes on a screen and then to shave pieces off to actually make something in 3D that we could print.
Speaking of 3D and printing, it's a pretty cool prop, but I'd like you to speak to it. We've got
Sure.
a little M4 reactor there.
Yeah, this is just a little stand that one of our volunteers had designed. As you can see, it's M and 4 and then the reactor on the bottom there. And this was 3D printed after it was designed in CAD. Took about, I want to say about 5 hours to print this. It's a pretty solid piece. And we're going to use this to model into our trophies for the different awards that we give out.
Very good. That's pretty awesome.
Yeah. So this is, and to design this took him about 15 minutes. So it really wasn't much from a design perspective. The printing process takes a lot longer.
Right. And you got one more piece of equipment there you brought in, which looks like an iPad to me.
Well, it is an iPad
Okay.
with an attachment that's a 3D scanner.
Okay.
And this 3D scanner is using infrared beams. So if I wanted to, I could spend a few minutes and walk around you and have a complete 3D image of your head. And we could then print it.
Two of me is not such a great idea. But it's that simple to plug into an iPad and just attach it.
Exactly. Plug it. The device is extra, obviously, not very expensive, and there's software on the iPad that you load up, and you just walk around, and it's using a combination of the camera that's in the iPad plus the infrared beams that's being generated and caught by this other sensor to do a 3D map of whatever you're scanning.
That's fantastic. So that's some of the tools and a picture of what the students, participants that are going through the program will be using and making.
Exactly. And we were talking about the youth programming being the tip of the iceberg. Our goal is also to move into dislocated training. So using these same skills to get adults in terms of better, whether it be soldering skills, programming skills, using CNC machines, so that they can get a better job or get a job in the case of some of them.
Yeah. So I think that's so vital because nowadays, when a person loses their job or from a plant closing or whatever, many times it's a different career path that they have to go down. So they have to have an entirely different skill set than what they had for the last 20 years even.
Exactly, and there really aren't that many places in our community that does that technical training, that hands-on training. That's what we hope to be able to provide.
All right, tell us how local businesses can get involved and get support. We have to have support from the community.
Yeah, definitely. From the local business perspective, we first hope that they would come to one of our interest meetings to learn more about us. But more so, we're starting a corporate sponsorship program. We hope that companies participate with that. We'll be doing direct asks from that perspective. And then also I would ask, especially organizations companies that have shops and so forth, to look around and see if you have some old equipment that you're not using, some old supplies and that sort of thing, because we are definitely accepting donations to get our facility running. I'm sure every organization could pull out some things out of the corner that would be able to use.
So rather than say they won't need this, offer it up and it's probably needed.
Exactly.
Very good. All right, well, how can we find out more about the M4 reactor?
The best place is m4reactor.org at our website, and we've got a mailing list, so please sign up for our mailing list. We don't send too many emails out, but it's all about the activities we're having. Right. Parents can also sign up their students for the Summer of STEAM programs on our website.
Kevin, thanks for coming in and sharing, man. It sounds exciting.
Thank you.
We'd like to thank you for joining us on this edition of Chamber Chat. And as always, if you missed part of this program or you'd like to view previous editions of Chamber Chats, you can log on to PAC 14's website and utilize their on-demand function, or you can visit the Chamber of Commerce's website as well. That's about all the time we have for this edition of Chamber Chat. My name's Tony Nichols, your host, encouraging you to make a difference.